incubation process involved a state of heightened receptivity. Practitioners often slept in liminal spaces, physically and metaphorically. These spaces, temples, caves, deserts, or tombs, were thought to be threshold zones between the material world and the unseen. The goal was to loosen the boundaries between the waking and the dreaming self, enabling the dreamer to move more freely between realms. Certain herbs or narcotics might also have been used in some traditions to induce a deeper sleep or visionary state. In a more esoteric or mystical interpretation, dream incubation was seen not merely as communication with a god, but as an entry into the collective spiritual unconsciousness, where archetypes and divine patterns reside. The dream was a vessel for receiving gnosis, or sacred knowledge. Whether the dream took the form of symbolic vision, or direct communication, or a sequence of transformation or transformative imagery, its power lay in its luminality arising from the threshold of sleep and consciousness, embodying truths inaccessible in waking life. Later mystical and hermetic traditions preserved the incubation technique in altered forms. Alchemists, Sufi mystics, Christian ascetics sometimes use dreams as tools for inner revelations. They adapted the practice for self-knowledge, understanding that dreams could reflect the soul's condition or foreshadow spiritual trials and ascensions. In modern times, dream incubation has re-emerged in depth psychology and certain forms of dream work, especially Jungian analysis, where dreams are treated as messages from the unconscious. Practitioners may use visualization, affirmations, journaling, or guided meditation before sleep to prompt specific dream content. The ancient premise remains: the dream world is a realm where inner and outer worlds converge, and when approached with reverence and intention, it may reveal truths, healing, or transformation beyond the reach of rational thought. Trance states are altered condition of consciousness in which the normal waking state of awareness is suspended or significantly modified. These states can occur spontaneously or be deliberately induced through ritual meditation, rhythmic stimuli, or other methods. Trance is often characterized by a narrowing of attention, reduced sense of external awareness, heightened suggestibility, altered perception of time, and in many cases, vivid internal imagery, or a sense of connection with something beyond the self. It has been utilized throughout history in religious, spiritual, magical, and healing contexts across diverse cultures. In many indigenous and shamanic traditions, trance is a fundamental tool for entering the spirit world or interacting with invisible forces. A shaman or ritual specialist might enter trance through drumming, chanting, dancing, fasting, or the ingestion of psychoactive plants. In this state, the practitioner believes they can travel to other realms, communicate with spirits, perform healings, or retrieve knowledge. The experience is not merely symbolic. It is lived as it is lived as it is lived as real, with sensory and emotional intensity akin to waking life. In ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean world, trance was integral in religious ritual and prophecy. Oracles such as the Pythia at Delphi entered trance states, possibly through inhalation of vapors, rhythmic rocking, or induced hysteria, during which they delivered cryptic messages believed to be inspired by the gods. Mystery cults like those of Dionysus or Eleusis use ecstatic dancing, music, and intoxication to dissolve personal identity and facilitate contact with divine powers or sacred thoughts or sacred truths. In the context of magical and occult practices, trance is employed as a gateway to altered perception and power. Practitioners may use trance to cast spells, summon spirits, or perform astral projection. The trance allows access to unconscious or superconscious layers of awareness where symbolic correspondences and intuitive insights become accessible. Techniques like gaze fixation on mirrors, flames, or mandalas, sensory deprivation, repetitive mantras, or controlled breathing are common methods for achieving these states. In certain religious traditions, trance is interpreted as a form of divine possession. This can be seen in Afro-Caribbean religions like voodoo. Yeah, there we go. Voodoo. They spell it weird. Or Santeria, where deities or spirits are believed to enter the body of the devotee during a ritual dance and music. The person in trance might speak in unfamiliar tongues, perform feats of strength or healing, or act out of the personality of the possessing spirit. These episodes are usually culturally sanctioned and occur within a highly structural ritual setting. Trance has also played a role in mysticism and contemplation practices. In Sufism, repetitive chanting of the name of God, dhikr, whirling, and deep meditation aim to induce ecstasy and annihilation of the ego in the divine presence. Christian mystics, too, describe trance-like states of union with God, accompanied by visions, voices, or bodily sensations. These states were often interpreted as the soul's ascent or rapture into the divine. The psychological terms, trance can be, in psychological terms, trance can be seen as a dissociative state. Hypnosis, for example, is a form of induced trance that bypasses the critical faculties of the mind to access deeper levels of suggestion, memory, or emotional influence. Carl Jung explored how trance and active imagination could lead to communication with the unconscious, producing symbolic material for personal transformation. While the outward behaviors and beliefs around trance vary by cultures and contexts, the underlying experience involves a shift from the analytical ego-centered consciousness to a state where other forms of perception emerge. Trance can reveal suppressed memories, catalyze emotional catharsis, or generate profound insights. In magical or religious systems, it is often seen not as a deviation from reality, but as a means of touching its deeper, unseen structure. In contemporary practice, trance continues to be explored in both spiritual and therapeutic settings. It is used in guided meditation, somatic therapies, lucid dreaming, and certain forms of ritual magic. The persistence of trance across time and culture suggests it speaks to a deep-seated human need to transcend ordinary awareness.